Count Dankula has just been convicted. He's been found guilty of causing, under the Communications Act, of being grossly offensive. That's right. It's a crime to be grossly offensive.
First of all, I would like to start this off by thanking Scotland. You just stopped the Nazi pug takeover. Really, you just saved the fucking world. We all know how bad it could have gotten had you not intervened. Let's start with the story of a man. A very dank man with a very dank beard that just wanted to piss his girlfriend off. So what does he do? What about a good old-fashioned Nazi joke? Who doesn't like those? He trained her dog to do a Nazi salute to the words "Gas the Jews," because why the fuck not? He worked tirelessly to train this dog, finally gets the results he wanted on video, and the cops arrest him for it. Because someone might get offended by it. Not because somebody was offended by it, but because they were offended by it for somebody else that did not exist. What can you even say anymore that isn't going to offend somebody? What Count Dankula did was a joke, as clearly stated here at the beginning of his video.
And raving about how cute and adorable her wee dog is, and so I thought I would turn him into the least cute thing that I could think of, which is a Nazi. Buddha.
The judge knew that. All 3 million of the people who watched it before he got arrested knew that, which is why nobody complained. The police took it upon themselves to be offended on other people's behalf and decided to arrest him. They decided a dog raising its paw for a treat to words Soviet Scotland did not like now demands prison time because fuck context. But this is where I find a lot of people stop in their coverage. Even if he had been serious, is this something that should be against the law? Seriously, you can't throw people in prison because you find their beliefs bad. Thought crimes are a real thing in Europe now. This sets a scary example because everybody with an ounce of common sense knows there is no way to criticize someone's core beliefs without offending them on some level. It is not a bad thing to offend somebody. In order to confirm whether or not your beliefs are legitimate and hold up to argumentation, you have to face opposition that will in fact offend you to your very core. Hate speech laws prevent this discourse that is needed to help people evolve their ability to defend their positions. If you cannot properly defend your positions, you have no real reason to them, or tell anybody else what they should believe. To claim that you are offended and start calling people racist, sexist, Nazi, that is the worst and laziest defense anyone can use. There is no place in the marketplace of ideas for this. I would never ask somebody I disagree with to be silent for my comfort. I would never shame them into silence. I would only ask them to either prove me wrong or consider that they might be wrong. To the people defending this judgment, all I can say is that it is a sad day when people in the Western world that are supposed to be free are fighting to strip themselves of the ability to express their opinions. Until maybe 3 years ago, I did not think such moronic and idiotic people could exist. What Dankula did was merely a joke. Some might argue such jokes go too far and are grossly offensive. But if being offensive is a line that any nation is going to take, where do you even begin to start deciding what is too offensive? This is the very government that says critiquing Islamic child grooming gangs is Islamophobia. but would never say the same for Christianity when you bring up clergy molesting altar boys, with no real argument as to why one is worthy of putting people in prison for and the other isn't. This is a government that would fine and imprison people for the most minor of wrong thing. How many people have to go to jail over YouTube videos and Twitter shitposts before it is stopped? Forcing someone under the threat of imprisonment to speak and act only is approved by the state and not say anything that may offend somebody is not only wrong, it goes against basic human rights. It is absolutely possible to do. Somebody is always going to get offended. It does not matter what the subject is. You sacrilegious bastards that put pineapple on pizza should be thrown from a helicopter as far as I'm concerned. Does not mean I think it's right to actually do it. I really only have one question for the judge in this case. At what point does his right to not be offended override somebody else's right to free speech? Is it a sliding point? Is it fixed? Is it strictly based on whether or not somebody pissed in his Cheerios the night before? Is simply being racist against the law now? Who knows at this point? Their hate speech laws read as vague as YouTube's terms of service. Great job, dumbasses. Now people need to be told whether or not they're being racist, because how else are they going to know? This shit needs to be asked. These questions are absolutely necessary, and I fear in a not so distant future consider illegal to ask on its own. This entire case is not only dangerous, but it paves the way for further rights to be stripped. And since Europe has already given up its guns, and Scotland has now shown their lack of concern for free speech by convicting Dankula, it has become painfully obvious the count will not be the last, and I can only hope people can understand why us filthy pigs in America are so vigilant in preserving our rights guaranteed by our Constitution. It is the barrier that keeps our government from becoming tyrannical. We may have our problems, but it is the only way to preserve our freedom. You can't protect feelings and free speech at the same time. Sorry, people need to get the fuck over that. Real freedom has a price, and that price is having to learn to deal with people that disagree with you. And people that just will plain not fucking like you. Oh well, it's life. Get over it. Am I surprised Soviet Scotland doesn't understand that? They will drum on about hate speech, yet ignore the growing violent crime rates caused by Islamists? It's sad. I wish all the best of luck to you, Dank. And if you need an attic to hide in, I got your back. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.